You think of some of the best animated movies of all time, some movies from your childhood that were animated, right? You probably would think of something like Up or Cars or Lion King, maybe Megamind. Oh wait, there's a second one? There's a second one? We don't really talk about the second one. We don't talk about that other film that came out. We don't talk about that one. But anyways, you'd probably think of some thought-provoking film, something that probably has a very good story, maybe plays on your emotions, and has like a core theme or message that the story is trying to leave you with that you'll probably think of for years to come, right? You probably wouldn't think of some bullshit like Turning Red or Lucas or all these fucking ugly movies that have these ugly ass animation styles, bro. I don't understand why they're so ugly. It's like they all use the same repulsive, creepy, and disgusting animation. Haven't you ever done like Zaza? And maybe you just do a little too much, and now you just have anxiety for like literally no reason. You don't know why, you just have anxiety. That's exactly what these animated movies, the one I just described, ELO is the newest one, I've even seen like a Happy Meal of it, Lucas or Turning Red, like that's what that animation style gives me. It just gives me anxiety for no reason. I don't understand why animated movies have to use this repulsive animation style. Use something unique. Use something that's inspiring and thought-provoking. Don't use this bullshit. It looks like shit. See, the thing is, back then there was no ray tracing or path tracing, or whatever bullshit animation studios or companies like to use now to make their films look as photorealistic as possible, right? There was none of that, right? The technology just wasn't there yet. So what did movie studios do? They tried to make the art style look unique so that their films could stand out and look more visually stunning. Even look at something like The Lion King. I know that's a really old film, and obviously it doesn't look as good as something like the newest Toy Story movie. I believe like we're at like the 5th or 6th one that came out. Right? It doesn't look as good and as photorealistic as the newest Toy Story movie, but it looked good for its time, right? And it doesn't have this visually repulsing animation style that just makes me want to like punch whoever made that kind of animation style. Animation has peaked. Plain and simple. It has literally peaked. I really do think animation has peaked, because look at, for example, I remember when the newest Incredible movie came out a couple years ago. It didn't even come out that long ago, but people were literally talking about how that film, how you could see like Mr. Incredibles was wearing like a shirt, right? It was like a polo shirt. You could see the individual fibers of the shirt. You could count the individual fibers on that shirt. That's how good animation has gotten, to the point where animation studios can focus on miscellaneous bullshit like that most people aren't even gonna like pay attention to or even give a shit enough to like even look at or care, And it goes even farther than just animation style. I feel like a lot of movies these days, like the plot is literally just so uninspiring and bland. It's just not interesting. I don't know if it's just like nostalgia making me feel like those movies that I watched as a kid were just so much better, but it's like, bro, they're not that good. Like, no one's gonna look at some movie like Turning Red and think, holy shit, that's one of the best movies I have ever watched, ever. I have to rewatch that movie. Like, it's a good movie, but it's nothing like crazy or thought-provoking like Up, for example. Like, I like using that movie as an example because it's a very good film. That movie is beautifully animated, it has a great plot, and it also plays on your emotions, right? It's about this old man who's like cranky or whatever. I don't remember. I was like fucking 4 years old when I watched this movie, but it's like this old man, right, who is literally like has this existential loneliness, right? He lost his wife, right? His wife died. And it showcases that, right? And it's like, it's teaching children how to deal with death to a certain extent. That's what this movie is teaching you. It is showing you that death is a very sad thing and how you can grieve with that, right? That's what this movie is showing you. Animated movies can be a very good way to teach kids lessons. Look at WALL-E, for example. I think that movie has aged very well. Look at like all these people that are like on screens, and that's how they move around. They're in this dystopian future. They all live and interact with these screens, and they're on these like chairs that move around or whatever. And it's like, bro, literally that's how we live now. Look at fucking Gen Alpha kids, bro. Look at fucking iPad kids, bro. They're on the iPad every day. My nephew literally is on an iPad the entire day. It is so sad, bro. I really think it's so sad how these young kids now are so addicted to technology. They're so glued to the tablet. I'm addicted to technology, and I didn't grow up on the iPad, bro. I just think it's so sad because kids now are literally not learning how to interact. Now kids are going to grow up with more social anxiety and all these mental health problems because they're not going to know how to interact with basic human beings because the tablet was what parented them. That was what turned them into an adult. The parent wasn't around. If the child was acting up, oh, just give them an iPad. It'll make them shut up instantly. Why is that always the solution now? Why? That should not be the solution. Whatever, I'm getting off topic, but you get the point. So yeah, back to what we were talking about. I really do think animated films, just a lot of new animated films, just the story and the plot and visually how they look is just completely uninspiring. It's like a slice of fucking bread, just bland. And a movie that comes to mind immediately is the movie Luck. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard that movie. It came out on the Apple Plus TV service or whatever that came out, a while back. But basically, it's about this girl, right? It's about this girl who literally, she's super unlucky. She is now about to outgrow the foster care system, right? She's 18. She never found like a family or whatever. So now she's 18. She's about to live on her own for the first time. And she's incredibly unlucky. Literally nothing goes her way. She was literally going to go to her job and literally nothing just works the way that she needs it to. Everything just messes up in her life. Everything is a complete mess and disaster because she is the most unluckiest person in the world. And then one day she finds this coin that makes her not unlucky. Now she's the most luckiest person in the world because now she has this special coin that makes her lucky. That's the whole plot of the story. That's where we're at in the story. This movie is just eye candy. That's all it is. This movie is not very entertaining, and it doesn't have a very thought-provoking story. I'm not saying that movies need to have the most thought-provoking story to be entertaining. Look at Megamind. It also has a very generic story, but it's a generic story done right, and that's why it's a good movie. That's why it adds, the element of surprise here and there. There's things in the plot that make it interesting and makes you want to continue watching, even though the story is very generic. That's why for a lot of people, it's one of their favorite animated films. But not Luck, sorry. No one's gonna be talking about how amazing Luck is. It's just a very generic story. Also, you know what ends up happening to this woman? She ends up losing the coin that made her lucky. Oh, wow, you lost the coin. That scene pissed me off so much. How do you have a coin that makes you fucking lucky and something unlucky happens to you while you have the coin that makes you lucky? That makes no sense at all. Whatever, she ends up finding that cat again. The cat, she found the lucky coin near that cat. So I guess she encounters that cat again. And what do you know? The cat actually talks back. Holy shit, I hate when movies do this. Oh wait, you can talk in a fiction animated movie that's based off fiction and not real? You can talk? No way, that's so crazy. You could talk? I didn't know that. Fucking hate when movies do that. It is the most cliche thing ever, and I just absolutely hate it. So obviously they go on this chase scene with the cat, and she's trying to chase down this cat because she wants to get another luck coin or whatever. And it's like, bro, how many scenes have we seen in animated movies where this character is trying to chase another character? I've seen a billion animated movies like that, where a character is trying to chase another character. That's just very generic. And they enter this magical land where it has to do with luck and unlucky stuff, I guess. I don't remember. This movie's so stupid. And then they find like this magical dragon or whatever, and that dragon is the CEO of Luck. And fuck this movie, bro. I refuse to explain the plot of this stupid, idiotic movie. I genuinely hate this movie. Maybe if you're like under the age of 10, you might like this movie. But then your prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed. So yeah, there is that. And at the end, she has to restore luck and unluck to this land or whatever. And yeah, she ends up realizing that life isn't just about being super lucky. It's also about the bad parts. It's also about the bad moments. And I guess that is a good message, I guess. But it's like, bro, you were unlucky your whole life. You were so damn unlucky. The amount of unluck that you had Like, you couldn't even do basic tasks in your supermarket job, in your retail job. You couldn't do basic tasks that literally everyone else can do because you're so unlucky. A fucking 5-year-old could do the tasks that you were doing, that you were trying to attempt to do. Like the carts. There's this one scene where she had to like push around some carts, and I think she couldn't even do that. She couldn't even do that. She couldn't even organize some carts. That's how unlucky you are, okay? It's like you've already fundamentally failed at life. Maybe you really do need that fucking coin. So yeah, I'm gonna end off this video by saying that movies don't need. I know I've been saying like that a lot of movies that are amazing have these thought-provoking and amazing stories, right? But I really don't think that needs to be the case all the time. Look at the Mario movie, okay? That movie is beautifully animated, and it might have a super basic plot and that, you know, anyone can understand, but it's just a good movie. It's a good Mario movie because it feels like Mario. This literally feels like him. It's really encapsulating the idea and feel of Mario. And that just goes to show that you don't need to create an amazing like plot to have an amazing movie. You can have a generic plot and still make a good movie. As long as the movie is, you know, as long as the movie is entertaining, serves its purpose to be entertaining, then that's all that really matters.